Hello, welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. This time we're looking at 7.25 housing items that can only be acquired with Sanguinite. Sanguinite then, if you didn't already know, is something you can only get from the Forked Tower, which is essentially Baldessian Arsenal, but for the Occult Crescent, the new field instance added in 7.25. Sanguinite obtained through those bosses then. To actually get in the Fork Tower, there is a thing called Cipher Exchange, and essentially during certain weather, you'll be able to exchange ciphers for a chance to be able to be pulled inside the instance. A lot of people are resorting to using Discord groups and communities for preformed groups, and you should probably do the same. That's my recommendation, rather than attempting to pug this, although that is something you can do, I guess, if you wanted to. But I'm not sure about how successful that will be, considering some of the, monsters within will require some coordination, or a lot of coordination, which is better suited to that Discord or, preformed group environment, like a static type thing. There are plenty of groups on all regions doing that. It's quite the hot topic at the moment. So things that you can get from the bosses are Sanguinite. You might have seen the Sanguinite exchange, and you can exchange various clumps of Sanguinite which drop from the mobs for a variety of things. I'm not sure why you would ever trade Sanguinite for materia, but that's there if you want to. Most people are going for the FFXIVs though, which is the way to +2 your armor. So there are armor that you can obtain through gold and silver farming within the Occult Crescent, and you can +1 that with the silver stuff, and then you can +2 it with the gold and silver stuff, with also Sanguinite being required for FFXIVs. I believe that might be the only way to get that. I'm not sure if it actually drops within the Fork Tower. I've not been in there yet. But there are a few items that can only be obtained, housing related, from this. Now, there are some that can be obtained from gold currency as well, that we'll do in a separate video. We've already done the knowledge crystal, but there are things like the occult tablets, which will cost you 5 of the Sanguinite. There's the occult table for 5, the occult chair for 5, the celestial sphere for 10, and the occult epitaph for 10 as well. And honestly, you might not know what these look like, so let's go and get them. They are market tradable, and they are quite expensive at the moment, but I have bought them so you do not have to unless you want them. It makes sense to start outside then, because our first item is the Occult Epitaph, which costs 10 Sanguinite to purchase, or from the market board for whatever crazy price you will see. I had to visit Light Data Center to even have a chance to get this. No one on Chaos was selling it. It says a replica of a sizable stone engraved with esoteric carvings found on the Occult Crescent, and you might be familiar with this if you've seen it within the Occult Crescent, specifically the Fork Tower. And this is, wow, this is what it looks like. Okay, so this thing was going for around 5 to 10 million gil. I'm now starting to see why. Oh my god, look at the size of this thing. Wow, that is truly an epitaph. Holy moly, it's got some nice glow effects on it, so I'm kind of not sad that it's coming into late afternoon, evening in the game here. Just a size comparison with a smallest height Mikote, I come up to maybe, what, the 4th line of text with my hair? Holy crap, dude, that is absolutely enormous. Oh wow, look at the back of that. That is really cool. This is the first time I've seen this. Got this nice little bit of metallic texture down the bottom. It's a little bit pixelated, unfortunately. Quite aliased. Some nice reflections across this from the sunset that are orange. Very interesting. I think that's a reflection of a fire, actually. Never mind. Wow. That is truly a monolith, isn't it? Absolutely. If you want to make a statement in your outdoor spaces for housing, you could probably see that from down the road quite easily. That is awesome. I'm actually very happy about that, because I was hoping it wasn't going to be just another tiny little item that, we tucked away in here, like a striking dummy size, but it is a very large object with some nice texture design on it. I mean, as nice as you can. It's enormous. It makes me want to do Fork Tower even more, but Yeah, how cool is that? I think that's really cool as a little remembrance. 10 Sanguinite that costs. That's not too bad, honestly, considering that's one housing placement slot. And even on a large plot, what, we get 40 slots? So the bigger they are, the better they are in my book. Very cool, very impressed with that. Let's move into the inside then to look at the others. All right then, so here we are inside our mansion plot then, and this is what these look like. So let's look at the occult table and chair first. It says this table is well suited to spreading one's copious notes, and the chair says a plush seat undoubtedly filled with secrets and dust. Very cool. So the table then is dyeable, and so is the chair. Let's whack these down because we need a table to put things on anyway. Wow, actually that's a lot bigger than I expected. Again, that's actually very pretty. Oh my goodness, look at that. Almost like a deep sort of walnut color to that. Nice sort of veneered edges. It isn't the most pretty thing up close though. That pixelation is not great. From a distance it's not a problem, but you can really tell. Yeah, you can really tell that. It looks like it has these like fake drawers on the side, which are absolutely enormous. This is really cool though. It's very rare that you get tables that don't have like an underneath with legs. This is just one big solid unit. So if you're looking for something, I mean, you could even use this as a stage. Realistically, if you wanted a custom stage or something, clip this together with other bits. No one would ever know. Gives you other options. Very nice, actually. I'm quite pleased with that. The other thing, of course, that we keep forgetting to do is to check out the SSAO shaders for this sort of stuff. So there it is with them, there it is without them. So there is a slight difference in how the shadows are rendered on this object. And there you go. We'll keep those on. And to go on top of our massive table, well, actually, to go with the table, we've got the chair then. So let's plop this down. My goodness, that is big. I know that's probably the most overused statement in this video, but that is enormous. Wow. And it's got that lovely ornate wooden design on the back of it. Okay, I didn't think these were going to be worth Sanguinite, quite honestly. Like 5 Sanguinite, especially considering that's Fort Tower. And that's like the only way to get them other from the market board. But after seeing them in the flesh, they are really nice. That kind of green leatherette going on there. Oops, didn't mean to summon a happy bunny. Oops, I meant to do /sit. Wow. I can barely fit it. Obviously, they've designed this to suit Hrothgar and, you know, Rugadin's. I still can't get over the fact we have to pronounce it Rugadin instead of Rogadin, but there we go. Yeah, that is... I look like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air sat on a giant throne. That is remarkable, quite honestly. And whilst we're here, we should have a quick look at dyes, just to have a basic idea. It should be pretty much what we expect, though. Like the wood grain effect for this particular shiny surface. Yeah, so it's one big block. So in a light color, you can really sort of see those details. Honestly, it doesn't look too bad in a light color. I think the blurriness of the texture is less obvious, maybe? I don't know, maybe that's just my eyes. But yeah, if you want to get this table, it comes in a variety of different, fairly straightforward colors. I don't think there's much there. It's quite a nice shiny surface, though. Some scattering of light going on there. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'd probably keep it a nice brown color. Oh my god, the new neon green looks awful on that. And we still can't use metallic dyes on these things, which is something I hope they change in the future, quite honestly. But yeah, maybe a lighter brown, maybe something like a sunset orange to bring up some of those details. I think that already looks better than the default, in my opinion. And then, of course, the seat as well changes. And it's the wood, it's not the upholstery. Now, that is surprising. Again, I will rattle on just for a second how, personally, I think we should have double dye palettes for furnishings as well as everything else, like glamours and things. But I don't know how hard that would be to implement. This looks really cool, though. And if you want to match it with your wood... actually, some of the bright colors look really good with that weird green accent. Yeah, very cool. I like. I am impressed. Not too bad. But those are 5 Sanguinite each. Then the next items then are undieable. So the first one is, let's look at the tablets first. It says, the inscriptions upon these stone tablets defy any attempt to decipher them, but perhaps taking them home without regard for historical preservation protocols will help. Yes, that is the British way. So let's put those on the desk. Oh, now we're Indiana Jones at this point. Yeah, we're literally just, you know, it belongs in a museum, but for now it's going to be on my desk. Wow, those are really well detailed, actually. More detailed than I expected them to be. Yeah, big stone tablets. Wow, those are really cool. If you're going for something a bit creepy, maybe a dungeon, maybe some kind of archaeological, I don't know, like maybe some bookcases, you could recreate stuff quite nicely with these. These are really nice scatter items, like little relics and things. We get little statues and things in the game sometimes, but these are really cool. I do like those. And then finally, which was for me one of the most expensive things outside of the Epitaph, is the Celestial Sphere. It says a mysterious orb showing visions of the cosmos. Now, I have a feeling I know why this is so expensive. Yeah, this is top tier, isn't it? So it's a tabletop item, but my goodness, we could just place this on the floor, and I don't think anybody would be any the wiser that it was a tabletop item. Look at that. Oh, it's got this interesting lighting as well. Look at this. This blue lighting isn't from my cape. It's actually reflections from the giant orb. That's awesome. So there is literally the Milky Way galaxy, or a galaxy. I think that is the Milky Way, or at least some kind of picture that's kind of fish-eyed. It's like a fish-eyed texture. And it kind of follows you as you go around. Look at that. I don't know. Things like this are... Oh, it looks better from that angle, maybe? Oh, it seems to follow my character rather than the camera. That's interesting. Oh, it's a bit weird, isn't it? I like it, though. And the lighting that provides. I can see why this was one of the most expensive ones. I was looking at it going, why is that so expensive? I now know why. That is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, that's a must-have from me. Especially, like, for any kind of type of room. Look at that. Look at the lighting. Wow. Honestly, it might be worth just getting, for the lighting, placing something with, like, a bit of transparency in the front of it. And then having that sort of blue light. That is quite unique. I can imagine a lot of people coming up with some very special ways of using this in builds and clipping this together with things. Plus, you know, it's a galaxy. Who doesn't love space stuff? It does have collision detection as well if you really wanted to sit on the top of it. Wow, it's actually kind of amazing, isn't it? Yeah, impressed with that. Sorry, I'm gushing a little bit about that one. Very nice. And the SSAO, yeah, is working nice on the bottom there. But yeah, even as a tabletop item though, if you can find a table big enough to put this on. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's rather large. It is rather large. Oh, and there's a little bit of, it's almost like it's floating actually. Look at that. It's not quite sat on the pedestal. That's even cooler. I don't know if this shows up in the Occult Crescent somewhere. It very much reminds me of Ozma. It's kind of like the same thing, like there's an image inside that's rotating around sort of thing. Similar to how they do that trick with Ozma. Same trick as how they used to do eyeballs in this game, if I remember correctly, before the graphical updates. Like if we put the camera over here, you can see, look, it's almost like an eyeball rotating. That's quite freaky, isn't it? Yeah, so far, these are very, very impressive. I think the thing that's worth the most, though, is definitely the big old... what's this thing called? Celestial Sphere. There we go. Brain cells. 10 Sanguinite for that. I think that's worth it. Quite honestly, it's worth at least a few mil. That the chair and table, it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. The scattered tablets for 5 Sanguinite, they're pretty nice actually. Yeah, let me know what you think about all of these items then that we've showcased today. I'm glad that we've got these in our collection. And then we've only got a couple more items to show. In another video, we'll do a quick video looking at the things you can get from the gold and silver vendors. There's only a couple more to look at. And then we've looked at all of the housing items. Let me know your favorite thing so far from the Occult Crescent. I really hope the next part of whatever the new field instance will be in the future also has as many cool items to collect. Because, yeah, this stuff's awesome. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.